with the Marshall. It looks like Fnatic are going to need some more moments like that. What Alpha's been able to do recently in their games has been spectacular. And those are the danger moments that you need to be able to add in there. But otherwise, G2 dealt with that really quite cleanly, even though they went into the stack in the end. And here's the ults that we were talking about. But Fnatic, by saving, have managed to get Kayak an operator in his hands. Looking to try to get him posted up over towards A. That's where the Odin is as well. And only Alpha defending here on C. Pushed off immediately.
Salvo's had to push off the early line. Doors opened up. Hello, Leaf. Might get an early fight sooner than he potentially anticipates. He's going to play his life, try and back the hell out of there. Trent over the shoulder, that bait and switch.
Crashies, I think, made the call to fight with Boaster and didn't realize that Leaf also had backup. In came Trent. And down went the IGL again of Fnatic, who's having a rough go of things here. They still have the lockdown to try to play retake in one of these areas, and Chronicle could actually pit off some level of contact. But it's difficult to get value out of the pit here in the mid-round when Jorgamo still has his dimensional drift to clear everything. But here it goes.
Yeah, using it nice and early. Just trying to spot out the most of these players. Don't know if he's spotted it off. Yes, Kayak. Time to strike. Choose it well. Chronicle. It's instinctual. The wall was up. Just anticipating G2's positioning. It's G2 who are left with that player disadvantage.
And massive ultimates dropped on the side of G2. They can no longer set up a pit of their own in the post plan. So if G2 want to win this round, it's got to be proactive. I think Fnatic, they know it. Crashies and Kayak are waiting for this push.
Palace sees it. Jorgamo's going to be backing away. Reclaiming the space now. There's an I4. Trying to lay claim to a lot of this towards it, but there's that up angle. A rare whiff from Kayak with how he's been playing. K damage kicking in. Get a TP. Valen's barely out of there. Trying to play the crossfire setup. Chronicle wins this fight out, and that's going to be the lockdown to secure. Fnatic have all the advantages here. Everything in the world going their way.
And an investment of the ultimate just to make sure, just to absolutely guarantee that Fnatic are able to tie things up. It's a big recovery in this round from Fnatic. If they'd lost here in the 4v5, would have been a disaster. But Kayak gets good value out of his op, and honestly, the way that G2 were utilizing the Yoru ult, Fnatic read the timings, and they just knew that people were going to start pushing up off the back of it. Chronicle has got great reads on that kind of stuff. He's been around the block. One of our most experienced and one of the greatest players of all time. You look at accomplishments.
The accolades, man.
He's already got 3 trophies. If Fnatic can somehow pull off this lower bracket run, he will just be out miles ahead of everybody else with 4.
Making a serious case for one of the greatest of all time. G2 feeling pressured into the timeout here.
And I think there's been a pretty serious shift in Fnatic's defense now that they've got the operator online. They are still finding holes over towards A early on. But what G2 are struggling with is being able to take the site without getting caught by one of the Fnatic players who's just trying to get one and back up. It's not like Fnatic are trying to defend the sites to the death, but they're just trying to grab one G2 player and then back it up and always force G2 to be the ones that have to overextend and overfight to get the space and get the plant. Take a look and see what the adjustments are coming out of this tag timeout. Kayak earned his showstopper in the previous, so he can take more aggressive positions with the op, because if you get caught, pull out the ult, and you can often stop yourself from getting punished. So he's actually going to go maybe for a solo peek over towards B, which is
looks like it.
Properly aggressive. Oh no, backs it up early on. Just listening for audio cues.
A lot of presence though from G2. Prowler and a flash through the front of B, and that's triggered at least the ult, and it's a bait and switch setup. Jorgamo at the gate crash, could exit.
That's beautiful. Ult baited out immediately. Perfect value there coming from the Yoru. And now Valen's got an opportunity to reset the troops and figure out in which direction G2 would like to end. Another single salvo to try to push Alpha away. They know that Alpha loves to play this angle. We've seen people even pick up attack side ops to try to punish that.
Alpha feeling the heat, and he might be tested soon, but instead G2 go in a different direction. Doors opened up. but he is called for. There's lots of ults to try and help supplement this one here. We'll see how to get used to the util. Sees is excellent. Crashes. He's locked G2 down.
Jorg teleported into it.
TP pass. Boaster is here, laying in wait with the Odin up through the high ground. Attempt there made. Chronicle just the one before the trade is inside. That pit is going to be laying down towards it. Armageddon on top of it. Clearing out a lot of the extremities. G2 trying to hold on.
Alpha on the flank could be pivotal here. Trent, he knows that he's going to try to take the timing, calls for backup, and now realizes Alpha hasn't committed.
P just gone down there. I'm not sure if these are just stray shots coming through. Alpha.
Perfect trade.
Just the one traded instantly. Now the drone and a connection spots him out, highlighting across the board. Leaf is going to back away, trying to play his life. Sliders of corners, snaps towards it. Leaf. Ridiculous.
Perfect reads inside the pit there for a player who's well within the race for tournament MVP. Look at how tight the timing is on that one. Jorg just escaping with absolutely no damage done.
Reflex रहते
Nice kill on Jonah P there too. But what I like from G2 is that they were hyper aware of the threat of Alpha here on the flank. Alpha is going to be playing C aggressively, and when he opens that door, Trent and Valen doubled up to deal with him. You've got to put two guys on Alpha at all times, and even then, Finesse will tell you it doesn't always work.
Yeah. Alpha perfectly capable of taking over. We've seen it, especially in their prior game. Risky setup here, but necessary. It's a half-buy round for them. That is sharp. Over towards the mound, though. This is about to be a bloodbath that's occurring, and it's all going away. Surely a Fnatic gets evened out into a 2v2.
Leaf, though, he caught the perfect kill on Boaster on the other side of things, and now it's all on Kayak with only a Bucky. I mean, he's just begging Valen to walk into him. If he doesn't, how is he going to take the kill?
Scurry of the footsteps. Valen is hyper aware.
And at that kind of range, Kayak, unfortunately, as good as he is, doesn't particularly have a chance. We were talking about how dangerous Alpha can be, and that setup over towards Mound almost found Fnatic a turn of the fates. The shots were good, but the weaponry, I don't think was quite up to scratch. And once again, actually, this kill, where Leaf is able to pick up Boaster, and Boaster's kind of, you know, inside his smoke again, getting caught.
Boaster's throwing a smoke in the middle.
Yeah, and I think that is actually a bit of a recurring problem that we're seeing here, is that Boaster's frequently getting caught out. He's 2-6 right now, but it's not necessarily about the scoreboard. He could be playing, you know, those kind of numbers and be playing a great game, frankly. But at the moment, he's trying to hold important positions on defense and getting caught out by unexpected timings. And I think that's going to have to tighten up if Fnatic want a chance of being able to win the rest of these rounds on their defense half at least.
A timeout taken for Fnatic to recoup. See if they can dig deep. It's only a 2-round lead so far for G2.
It's well within the realms of being able to recover, but when you say it's a 2-round lead, Fnatic also won the pistol here.
Yeah.
So, you know, out of the other 6 rounds that we've seen, when rifles have started getting on board, G2 have been very consistent. And this time, no operator in the hands of Fnatic. They don't have the wealth to be able to put that into Kayak's hands. And once more set up to go for some kind of B split attempt. The spike headed up here and a potential for a wrap through Blue Room.
Potential for a brawl. This is Fnatic stacking 3 bodies. Trying to retake some of that rubble control away from where Leaf has just been lurking.
Leaf, he kind of needs to kill that Prowler to create the threat that he could still lurk.
And there's a pump in play. They want to try and get a move on here. This is G2. Trying to see if they can lay claim to that B site. Still rain down a hail of bullets. That's just from Boaster. He's going to be supplementing the fire. Just trying to make it nice and awkward for G2 while the flank occurs.
Do they have enough people to be able to deal with Chronicle? There is massive pressure on Leaf right now.
Tested. Only just the one. This is Fnatic now. This is their time to shine. They've got a lot of control now towards B main. Flip at the site though, G2 looking to try and take this one up through heaven and a reflank of Valen, but time needs to be played. It's already ticking away, and it's up to Trent to see if he can delay, but smoke in your face, what really can you do from this spot? Timing is taken into a 2v2. They got to know where these players are. The smoke obfuscates, hides the intent. Kayak, he's there swinging through, seals it up nice and pretty for Fnatic.
Bit of a strange situation there towards the end. A couple of the G2 players left in the clutch, and it almost looked like they didn't know where the plant was. A B pop. Alpha swings through, but it's this flank play that made the difference. In previous rounds, Leaf has been escorted into rubble at the start of this round. He got pushed out immediately. He got caught by a Horn, Prowler, and that gave Fnatic the confidence to be able to double push fully out through A and get the rat play working. The more they can get the read on that, the more they can actually figure out exactly where Leaf is on the map, the better their defense half is going to look. And they've knocked G2 down onto a light buy, but this squad is diabolical with the Stingers.
And certainly are. Alpha.
He's so far up.
Well, really far up. There's going to be a Paranoid blinded up, and there's already players just on your tail, just trying to hunt you down, Jorgamo. This goes Quadit. It is carnage of what's occurring. Alpha decayed. Caught up into the corner from the seas, and Valen was very quick, able to take up most of that space. The pit has to be vacated. It's a wasted ult from Chronicle.
Snakebite easily could have claimed a couple of lives there, though everybody on G2 was weak, but that was chaos. Alpha, with the wrong read of what was happening, they thought it was going to be an A-side default again, and G2 have found an opportunity to pick up a couple of weapons and slow things down a little. It's looking more even now.
Looks like G2.
I think सारे low थे यार.
Praying that Fnatic would go for some form of re-exploration, clearing up the map.
And I think this is a really important situation where you've got to look at Boaster again. He's going to be doing this jump spot. He's been caught out in positions like this, throwing smokes a couple of times. He's got to make sure that he maintains this information.
30 seconds left.
He's gone forwards. Trust the advantage. He's got a read, and it is a good one. A solo player, Trent just trying to condition with that drone. There's the punish kayak towards the back. Alongside Chronicles, a stalwart defense. The lock and key here. There's only one left to stand against the Jonah P. It's messy, it's scrappy, but Fnatic are up even.
And I think it deserved pop-off there from Boaster because it's something that he struggled with a little bit so far in this defense half, but he played that situation beautifully, didn't he? Had the read that it was going to be a fake, stepped forwards rather than backwards, managed to get the timing on the drone, and catches Trent as well. So not only does he get the kill, he feeds full info to the rest of his team. Guys, this is going to be a C re-hit. 100% this A pressure is fake. And this is now an even half, 5-5. With arguably better ultimates here for Fnatic to close out on defense.
Door's going to be opened up. This is G2. Attempted a bit of that slow siege.
That is so much damage onto Jorgamo there as well.
Down to 61.
I think he would have been aiming to pick up an orb in this round, see if he could get the ultimate online. 4 players from Fnatic over here doing a re-clear, full re-clear of rubble.
A lot of util. You see that Paranoid, you see the Haunt.
Could be the timing to try to activate somebody like Leaf on the other side of the map, but Alpha's waiting, and
Oh, just as the turret gets broken, Kayak is looking for more. He's stunned up and misses it. Trent just cleans him up.
That's amazing from
भाई
George
कैसे
and
नहीं फटा?
Trent.
All on Boaster now, though. Feeling the heat. It's a Paranoid in your face, near-sighted. Plenty of bodies about to be coming towards you. 9-4 avoided. Chronicle. Again, the spam over the shoulder. Curtain raised up. Wall of his own, just trying to stunt it. G2, though, not to be dismayed, trying to get a bit of a move on, trying to claim that A site. Moving forwards, that game of time, it's Chronicle. It's the better of the adversary.
He's been really good so far, Chronicle, a pillar for his team to rely on. And G2, they feel like they have to be the ones making the play. Health disadvantage is so huge, but look at the wrap. Look at Alpha, yeah, already aware of the possibility.
Yeah, this lockdown, drop down should be seeing all of this one up, except Alpha oversteps himself, and the lockdown's going to be broke down regardless. Chronicle lays down that snake bite, and now there's a timing to be taken. Fnatic getting a run on, getting a scurry on. It's been stuck to have, heads are popped. Chronicle dismissed entirely.
Another round for Valen where he comes through in the clutch, and my God, what a call as well. Dismantling Kayak's ult. Oh, it landed on the pillar too. Tragic the way that splash worked, but it's the final call, this double wrap up through heaven and around behind onto Alpha. Alpha decides to swing aggro on a timing, thinking that it'll catch them off guard. And maybe doesn't account for the fact that they're both going for the flank. And the fact it was planted for heaven as well, it's a really nice way to play that situation.
One last chance in this half, though, for Fnatic to try and draw it level. Jorgamo sending it flying forwards here with a dimensional drift. Made this feel like a lot of A pressure, and there are bodies behind it. G2 are looking to at least take this space. Doors are open wide. Paranoia already expended. Most is going to be using it. This is Anarchy. Crashes to leave from behind. A lot of good work put in, though, and now it's up to Boaster to do the rest. Odin in hand, obliterating G2.
Incredibly aggressive swing there from Jorgamo.
Forwards, no committal. Also just looking for that information, and the timing potentially is here for Trent.
Alpha, yeah, worried that he's getting flanked from B main, even though the turret is actually watching it. So I think Alpha probably could have just stayed over here. But Chronicle is tightening the net at all times.
Toxins going up.
Putting a squeeze on him now. Already revealed to the side there. Chronicle, easy cleanup, 6-2-6 at the half.
A strong recovery in this half from Fnatic after it looked like G2 were running away with things. Big round from Crashies as well in round 12, as Jorg was hunting him down from behind. I think this implies we've got a great game on our hands with how even things have started here on Lotus.
Yeah, competitive between these two juggernaut teams. All the way through, 6-2-6. Could not ask for a better start to the series overall.
Pretty good.
Good off.
Give us 6 though.
Unreal stuff.
Full data रहता है इनके पास.
We're going to send it down to the floor. Vansili is standing by with G2 Hammy.
Thank you so much, Brent. I'm joined back on the floor by G2's own Arabian Stallion, Hammy. Hammy, how has Toronto been treating you so far?
Honestly, Toronto's been amazing. The people here are amazing, and just like, yeah, overall great.
What about the event? You were telling me you were walking around the venue the whole time, checking out the activations and everything. How's the experience right here in Masters Toronto?
The experience is amazing. I mean, like I said, the people here in general, they're just like lovely to meet and all that, but yeah.
That's us, man. That's Canadian.
It's good.
We just love hugs.
Yeah, I do.
Let's get back in the game, though, and talk about G2, because you're basically the honorary sixth man for G2. Talk me through the Tejo from Trent. Why is he bringing it back?
Okay, I mean, I feel like Trent gets too much disrespect. He doesn't need Tejo. It doesn't matter who he's playing. He's the best initiator I've ever seen play the game. Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I just wanted to hear it from your words as well. And also tell me why G2's in the golden era and why they're going to win this series against Fnatic.
Yes, we'll be winning this series. Not only this series, but we'll be winning the entirety of Masters, I think.
Oh, the whole Masters.
We will be winning Masters, yes.
Okay, and so Wolves coming up next. You think they're going to have this easy against Sufat Baby and crew?
Yeah.
Okay, and last but not least, I want you to give encouraging words to the G2 players playing up there and also to your fans around the world.
Okay, honestly, G2 doesn't even need it. They're going to win. But I hope everyone's doing good. I mean, that's all. I don't know what else to say. But yeah, I love you guys.
You got it all. Hammy, thank you so much for your time. Let's toss it back to the game.
Two teams here that are just neck and neck, and honestly, even just looking at the map pool itself, we have our opener of Lotus. It's an interesting one. Listen, the desk was kind of talking about it when it came up as well, because it's a great map for Fnatic. It's one of the ones that they have been lights out on all year.
Yeah, it's at the top of both teams' map pools, and I think you really get the clash between both of the callers. Opposite sides of the spectrum, actually, in terms of results. You can see reflected in the Coinbase Econ report. Chronicle having an amazing half. Boaster struggling a little bit. Valens at the top of the scoreboard, actually, if you're just looking at kills as well. But I think more than productivity, it's going to be the game plans that are going to make the difference here in half number 2. I mean, when I've been looking at these teams, G2, they play for retake a ton. They're on their defense half. They've been winning almost 40% of them. Fnatic are winning post plants 83% of the time. One of those stats has got to give today. Is it going to be Fnatic closing out these rounds cleanly?
Basado Styles leaping into the fray across for that info. Leaf break the Prowler, back himself out, and it is slow and steady for Fnatic.
They are the slowest team on the attack side that we have, but they're extremely diligent with it. They use the time to make sure that they dismantle trap plays. And yeah, it can get tense towards the end. The clock can sometimes be Boaster's worst enemy.
Oh, short by.
But Alpha, yeah, Alpha might be his best friend.
What an opener for Fnatic.
I mean,
इसका अलग ही level का shot चल रहा है last match.
delivered on the pistol round. Fnatic with the potential here, a great opportunity to win both pistols on this map. And that can make all the difference in spots like this where both teams are good. Jorg might be going for a bit of a re-exploration over towards B as well. He's just trying to backfill this space, but it's all on Valen to defend here with one Paranoia. Are they pivoting into B? Actually, maybe Jorg will get his chance.
They might do. They're going to try and go for the B here. There's only 25 seconds left, Fnatic. What is the call? Bit of a scramble, but they're going to land over towards A. No one really there to meet them. Valen might take a few risks of his own out towards the blue room, and this is all covered in time. Kayak is there. Cutting down these two players. It's a pistol round in the back pocket here for Fnatic, and like you said, it could make all the difference in a map like this.
Absolutely flawless. I mean, the damage from the first hit, collating through onto Jonah P. And then how clean Kayak looks with these shots coming out from his ghost afterwards.
But tracing बहुत अच्छा
it's
रहता है भाई.
clean, it's sharp.
Whoever it was.
I mean, it's Kayak. I think you should probably give credit to your newest player. It's going to be tough for G2 to recover from this kind of situation. You will sometimes see them force, even on defense, but this is not one of those times. G2 just playing for money in the bank. Another really important thing to pay attention to between these two teams is who has more of the utility once we get into post-plant scenarios.
भाई जॉब से आके streaming बहुत भारी पड़ती है यार.
Gearing up. It's a Paranoia in the back pocket. Primed by Valen, looking for signs of life at the spam. Surely that's it, but they're actually waiting for a little bit further. There it is.
Short base.
The goal button's going to be called for, but that Paranoia did not connect. Chronicle! Unbelievable form. And Alpha on clean-up duty.
Hyper confident, pushing through. Just allowing the players on Fnatic to build up more and more towards those ultimates.
भाई.
Players getting streaks, and Jorg trying to get cleaned up.
It's nice with the class to give it a damage, surely, but the round nevertheless here to Fnatic. Chronicle is 19 and 10 right now.
He's been amazing. He's just been so calm. And like I said earlier, he's been a rock that the rest of the team can rely on in these difficult positions. He's not making the play to change the round necessarily, but when G2 force the aggression into him, he just collects it and absorbs it perfectly. You can't get past him. So Fnatic with a bonus round, but a bonus round that they've also forced an attacking operator into.
Just punish Leaf. He's been peeking this one often. The defensive setup is different, though. G2 making changes to it. Quick dink there through Mound. There needs to be some call for help. Shot wide and through. Leaf is on essentially single digits. Barely alive. Regen Armor eventually going to be kicking in.
Both teams getting a read on what's going on here. Fnatic realizing they're fighting super heavy over Mound and trying to react into A. And realize they got caught by the drone there. Decide to hold on for a moment. But G2 also got the read that there's an attacking op, so they'll have to be hyper aware of areas that Alpha's going to try to peek.
Door opened up here by Chronicle. Bit of fake pressure, trying to pull
full
some
fake
G2
कर रहे हैं
players.
A पे.
Done so successfully.
Yeah, it's really nice. It pulls all of the attention from the defenders towards the door and frees up this re-exploration towards Mount. This was the area, remember, that G2 were fighting over, so it's likely they would have left.
Second thoughts here for Fnatic, looking like they wanted to end over towards C, but the spike now, making its way over towards A.
Maybe overthinking it just a tad here, overcooking.
30 seconds left.
30 seconds left.
भाई Fnatic इतना slow क्यों खेलता है?
There's 4 players defending this area of the map.
Yeah.
Are they pivoting B and trying to connect with these guys through the door?
Maybe door's broken.
Yeah.
No clearance onto the corner.
Oh.
Alpha has his back.
भाई.
Not on my watch is what he's saying. That attack side operator, but time is still becoming a bit of an issue, and shots are rattled. You can feel it. It's getting hectic. It's getting messy. Trent cleaning up onto Chronicle. Time is against them now. It's fully against this Fnatic squad. And G2, they make the call. Not sure who it was, but to stack the bodies in the final moment there over towards A.
They almost got punished for it as well, though, Brent. That round is on a nice edge. You see Chronicle come through from tree, and he's got players running away from him. I mean, the fact that Leaf also gets caught in this situation, the Guardian barrel just sticking out slightly, but it's this kill, Trent on Chronicle, that I think really changes the game, because G2 then can commit fully to the retake and the flood. And Josh is begging them to play time
Hey,
at the end
Fnatic
there
का
because
round
there
था
was no opportunity for a plant.
Very fast play to be made. An operator picked up into the hands of Leaf now. Punches Kayak.
Yeah, I think it's a great call to go for the defensive op for Leaf because they know that Leaf is going to be on this line. They're trying to punish him with marshals, with attack ops. And if he's got a long-range weapon of his own, he can hold it down.
It's got to be careful here. Spots the body. How do you want to play this one? Backs himself into a corner.
He does have a little bit of support from Jonah P.
Poison's off.
And one of the things that this G2 comp is really good at is being able to passively regain information in the mid-round from the Taeho drone, from the Prowlers, from the Haunt. They have used all of those now, though, and only Jonah P's Haunt will be coming back later on.
Here.
Chronicle just sticking around to try to break that and make it feel like they could be going for a C re-hit. There's the Haunt, though. Chronicle breaks it. But the shot comes from so far back that G2 already have the read anyway.
Valent's going to be seeing signs of life definitely occurring now.
Cover going out.
A long con here for Fnatic, just trying to earn up a few of those ults. Really working the map in the process, and they found
30
themselves
seconds left.
a slight gap in towards B.
Fnatic have been ending with these B splits a ton. I think G2 are fairly ready for this. Jonah and Jorg.
Jonah sat down onto the side here, spots it, catching the contact, a bit of spam as well. Comes through, this is Alpha and Chronicle. Laying claim over towards this side. Onto B in the plant now to go
10
down, nothing to
seconds
push this away.
Crashes managed to upgrade to a Vandal. Can he strike a dagger blow back to his own region?
Huge upgrades. Stun. Has to be sidestep Leaf. Just snaps at the crash. He's an off angle by Chronicle, baiting out with the first shot. Now you're going to see that discipline coming through. G2 never without it, and it has brought it level 8-8.
Both teams playing that round pretty well, honestly. Just at the end of the day, a weapon difference. That's a sick kill, though, from Leaf. You can see that Kayak, he knows exactly how Leaf wants to play it, and Leaf is still just daring him to come and challenge. Fnatic have a lockdown to try to work with here. Difficult to counter. But G2 pretty happy playing the retakes as well. Stacking 3 bodies over towards Mound, expecting Fnatic to go for a punish of Leaf.
And Leaf is holding it. They want it to feel like it's just Leaf with a bit of solo pressure. Way ahead of this one, still they're going to reveal their hands. So rifle shots ring out. Even trying to see if he can punish somebody going for that jump spot, but Haunts out into the open, counter spam. It's Kayak trying to get the punish online, but
He was believing in the Haunt maybe a little bit too much, just stood into that Omen one way, got caught. Feels like G2 have been winning a lot of these opening duels.
Toxins going up.
drone's going to be expended for the re-clearing walls on walls.
And because Fnatic keep losing this fight over towards Mound, G2 can stack 2 bodies B, 2 bodies A, and be pretty happy no matter where Boaster calls the team to end.
Tight to the corner, Jorgamo has the escape policy.
Alpha detected over here by the Haunt.
Just trying to spam where he might expect it to be, following the traces. Well, still going to be alive for now, 41 health.
And in a 3v5 like this, you don't really want to invest the ultimates from Alpha Air and Crashies unless they can find a pick beforehand.
30 seconds left.
But look at the time. This is one of the problems with how slow Fnatic play. You get into spots like this where you're down and you're not really in a position where you can even make a play to turn the round. This is just going to be a save that waiting out the clock, and it's not a high energy way to end a round.
No.
It feels, I've got to imagine, a
left.
bit brutal to have to give up in spots like this, especially because it allows G2 to then put pedal to the metal and try to punish. And that is such a punish. Looked like Leaf was just running the operator in to its doom.
To his demise, though. 2 rifles intact for Fnatic, and that was the goal of it. But you're right, it's a low energy way to end the round, to think about what's coming next.
Yeah, there's that moment one-way finding value. George just spots Kayak, who's trying to get value from the Haunt. Like, you can see what Kayak's going for,
Gun here.
but it's difficult amount. And Fnatic are going to take attack timeout here. I think it's desperately needed. They've won both pistols in this map. G2 didn't respond with a force at all, and yet they're still behind 8-9. And they did do a good job of getting back into the map in their defense half. Here on the attack side, though, I think one of the largest problems is they're never actually pushing G2 away from Mount.
Yeah.
And if you don't have Mount control, if Leaf is always getting information over there, why would they ever want more than one person on C? And that makes it way harder for Boaster to call. Might be time to change the tempo around coming out of this tag timeout. Fnatic, they do have some fast rounds in the bank. They're not a team that do it very often. But running something a little quicker might just add that shift up that you need to be able to get back into the game.
Scrap together a buy. It's a bit rough. Boaster's going to be left with just a stinger, but you're right, a tempo increase. Could be what they ordered.
Doesn't look like it though, does it? I mean, looks like they're
spread.
going to try to play for a little bit of rubble control. I mean, maybe the coach is telling them to take the shift into fighting for A control instead of Mount at the start of the round.
Trying to take this one. Overwhelming with the bodies in the util. Setting Valen up onto rubble. He is revealed towards the tail end there by their own Horde. So Fnatic get the information.
And I do like this smoke that Boaster goes for over towards rubble, but it's just been cleared immediately by the salvo. And G2 weren't really worried about it.
Exchange of the stray shots.
Leaf has actually been pushed back this time though.
Yeah.
Not too much contestation, and a nice smoke from Boaster just right on top of Leaf's face. And suddenly, G2 don't have the same level of information over towards C, but they're still playing C soft for retake and stacking bodies on A, expecting this reclear, and they are so right.
Who's catching the play though? Strength, jump spotting. Eventually sees it, Valen unaware. Trying to get a move on, trying to get a runaway. Kayak! Just obliterating the opposition. It's up to Jonah P to pick up those pieces. See if he can make a little bit more from it. It's going to be fainting. Getting a bit of a run on. It's
no way.
There's no way. There's no way at all! It's shut down by Alfie. Safe pair of hands. Jorgamo.
Spike planted.
In his hands, trying to go for it. Flick of the wrist does not connect. No way to exit other than having his ult, but committing it in this spot in a 2v4, not wise.
No, he's still
even getting the wrap around.
He's still going to be able to afford an op in the next round anyway, so
Last player standing.
when Jor gets caught. Fnatic getting it up to 9 here, but I think really you've got to be looking at how G2 executed in some of those moments. They had the right read. They knew that it was going to be an A reclear, but they didn't have somebody taking contact well enough for Valen to play off this. Kayak snuck all the way back in off the back of Chronicle's Viper Wall. And then I think you could argue the execution here wasn't great either. Jonah finds the timing, utilizing the fact they're on land. It's difficult to hear these kind of footsteps, but he can't land the shot. And Alpha shuts it down. Alpha once more is going to go for the attack side operator here. Taking a peek. Seeing if he can punish a jump spot on A.
Same explosion of util from G2 looking to take control towards A rubble. Push players up.
This smoke is a really nice adaptation. Coming out of the tactical timeout, it really has neutralized Leaf and allowed them to regain mount control. I mean, look what it's done. You've got the pull from one of the rotates. You've also got this gate crashing spawn as well to try to support Leaf. And it's just softened up the A side of the defense. Really good macro adjustments from Fnatic's coaches.
All grouped up now from Fnatic though. Trying to push players off away from A rubble and just trying to take it slowly, steadily, but still that's bullets raining down. Jonah P is there. Nightfall preemptive, and that's going to be a tag onto absolutely everyone. It's the information they were looking for. You see him push it out by G2 across the board.
Toxin screen down.
Leaf. He's tucked himself in.
It's a dangerous spot as well for Chronicle. He gets support from Alpha yeah now, but he's the one with the spike.
Now broken. Leaf will respect it. Off onto the corner. This is 25 seconds left. Where is this ending?
Boaster's trying to fake as if it's ended towards B. I think the spike should be headed to A. And that means Jonah has a chance for redemption after his failed play in Tree in the last round.
Spike's disjointed though. They've already got players in and through G2. Looking to try and flood defend this one all the way. Dimensional drift spots it all out. No guessing game whatsoever. 9 seconds. And it's all dropped down. It's all crumbled. Fnatic. Chronicle. It's cheeky with the kills, consolation prizes at the end of the day, but it's not a round win. That's what Fnatic were looking for.
Second time in this half that G2 have won based on the clock. And you won't see any other team in the tournament that loses as often as Fnatic. The EMEA teams do tend to be slower.
Spike down.
But Fnatic, honestly, they take it to a whole different level. And they're getting punished here. Trying to work the map as much as they possibly can, but not taking the right risks at the right time to try to push things forwards. And G2 have knocked the economy down on Fnatic. No, they decide to go for the force buy. They've got everything up here. Fnatic's eco still doing all right. But 3 of the players are on light armor.
Investing into it. Salvage towards the back of Rumble. Fnatic are grouped up though. Flash overhead. No signs of life from what G2 can see.
Yeah, passive kind of setup. Not looking to go for the reclear, the refight, G2.
Toxins going up.
But why would they need to? I mean, Leaf has still got pretty good information over towards Mound. Jonah P is getting them info on B as well. They're set up quite nicely right now for an A or B finish.
Paranoia is going to be sweeping through, dissecting this B site. Go either way though. Okay, locked down. Drop down into the corner now. One salvo is going to be weakening it, but not enough damage to really do the job. They clear most of the way here for Fnatic.
This plant is almost destined to go down, and my eyes immediately go to this flank that's coming around the back. Leaf might have an opportunity, but it's going to be so difficult inside Chronicles pit.
And look at a draw. G2 to try and play retake into this one, a bit of random spam perhaps. Fnatic should be set up to bring it level once more to the post plant. Util is even available. Again, bullets raining down. Not much cover, Fnatic will take it. Paranoia nade, ricocheting, rebounding, tons of util at their disposal here. They've completely shut G2 out of the picture. Straight kill from Leaf.
They're also going to do crazy economic damage to Fnatic because they're just essentially trapping them in the site. One escape path found though from Crashies and Kayak, so at least 3 guns are going to be maintained here. G2 never really committed to that one. Definitely felt like there was more opportunities for G2 to go for spam, to try to get inside the pit and make something of it. But when Jorg got shut down, kind of gave up the ghost. And Fnatic draw things level again at 10-10. It's actually a rough buy here for G2. Guardian for Jorgamo. Valen only with a stinger.
Might be
and a big
signs of it. Yeah, big brawl. Signs of it. It's a season of nade.
Yeah, you did drop it.
Just not in time to save him there. Kayak.
Ultimate.
A wonderful opener.
We've seen that previously too. Jorg, he tried to go for the teleport in the moment, but was just a little too slow on it. That's a great start for Fnatic. I think they've really struggled with the opening kills.
Very proactive from G2, looking to try and push all the way out of rubble. Using a paranoia, even expending it, but this is being held all the way further back. Crossfire setups. I think are good for them, and G2 realized that would be an overextension.
I think all of that pressure, though, that was on the flank, as G2 pressured forwards, it actually pulled the defenders back, and it allowed Leaf to get set up on C properly.
Jonath's still staying around. There's going to be smokes on smokes. Hiding the intent of Fnatic. Has to be respected. Horn's not going to be broken.
Drop the spike.
He's still going to be sticking around here with 40 seconds left.
Trent has salvos, and he has the ult to be able to work with. Boaster needs to call for them to accelerate at some point here.
Tempo needs to be increased.
He's trying to bait out the salvo or the ult, but this spike is miles away still.
25 seconds left.
Surely this isn't going to be another round lost to the clock.
Only just making a move over towards it. G2 still have bodies over towards here. Jonah B's going to be hearing most of this, and that's the Armageddon. As soon as doors opened up, the slightest of pockets to play inside. And all the way forwards, Jonah B has to be that line of defense. Moving now, 8 seconds remaining to G2. Reinforcing the site. Still time left. Alfie is going to try and defend this one. Defend it, he will. Plant is down. Wincon potentially there.
Oh my. Round away.
What a ridiculous round from Fnatic. I don't think they should have ever been able to get that one across the line, but it's individuals that power their way through with the clock all against them. Yes, they got the early kill and set themselves up in a decent spot, but they were just barreling towards the site, desperate to try to get something going. And again, the superstar, I think, is Alpha, yeah. Defending crashes. Leaf a little too slow to be able to deny. And then Alpha, he wins that 1v1 towards the end, even with Leaf holding for it. Josh is not happy about that. G2 have taken attack timeout instantly afterwards. Three situations where the clock has been bad for Boaster, and one recovered. Chronicle and Alpha, yeah, the players that have been by Boaster's side through thick and thin, winning multiple tournaments with it. 26-13 for Chronicle, 23-14 for Alpha, yeah. Everybody else on Fnatic, negative. I mean, Chron and Alpha are trying to deadlift Fnatic through this game.
The backbone. This entire map has been on a knife's edge all the way through. Fnatic go to ones finding it. Potentially the straw that breaks the camel's back if you are G2.
Yeah, I think that could be the round that you look back on that really made the difference. Josh is expending his timeout, maybe expecting not to get a chance for another one, frankly, because G2, it was a bold pick taking Fnatic to Lotus, but they may have been punished. Losing both pistols and not being able to stop them on the clock there. Valen steps up with a stinger to try to see if they can win a miracle round and draw things level again.
Gonna make this out, Leaf. Indeed, catches the Prowler. Leaves Valen inserted. Tiptoeing around the map though from Fnatic. They're gonna be looking to see if they can re-clear out towards C-Mount. Satchel across. With the rifles here, ooh, Valen barely able to escape and exit. Drone used for a bit more information. G2 just trying to clear up most of the map. Fnatic, slow game of theirs. Definitely applies the pressure evenly here to G2.
And two players posted up towards Rubble. I'm not sure whether Alpha's calling for them to go back towards B. No, it looks like the spike's going to make its way towards this setup from Jorg and from Jonah. There's a seize.
All broken. Jorgama respects it. Okay, Gate Crash is probably running out.
Placing swamp grenade.
I mean, at this point, G2 are just trying to play the clock again. 30 seconds. You have C's, you have flashes.
Giving to delay.
30 seconds left.
It's up to Fnatic to try and get a move on here. There's a round you cannot afford to lose. Not against the weaker weaponry. G2. Sidestep, Nightfall, going to be avoided, at least for now. Util flying forward, sees, not quite a connection. Paranoia sweeps forwards, Boaster's there, ready to take the fight and lay claim to most of this site. They need some help when he's at it. Kayak drifting into it, trying to take the fight straight to them. It's a bloodbath up towards heaven. One away from the ult. Kayak is going to be happy with that, and the last one spotted out, rooted out.
Toxins going up.
If we're just looking to do some damage here, and Kayak's been set up perfectly. Showstopper for round 23.
That shows you that the composure is still there for Fnatic. Not getting rattled towards the end, still trying to optimize even the smallest bits. And that could be an ultimate that's a game changer and stops G2 from being able to pull off a comeback. Both of these teams have got good mentals. But G2 are going to need two really clean rounds here, even against the ult coming out from Kayak. Jorg and Trent have been really good at denying value from Kayak's ultimate when the sides were swapped. But I think a Showstopper's exactly the right kind of tool to complement Boaster's slower calling style, because it will allow you just to open up the sights towards the end of the rounds.
Toxins
Managing
going
to
up.
speed up entirely. G2, they don't want to be budged.
Toxin screen down.
Draining themselves here. Leaf and Valen out towards C-Mount. Stray shots forwards, but now here's the pressure. Prowler broken. Stray shots, you know that Valen's sticking around. Leaf. Valen eventually going to concede that space and give it up. On either side, there's a deep drone and a deep push. G2 getting active over towards A.
Alpha, yeah, has a little bit of an opening on B. But this fight over towards A could define the round. Alpha's in on B.
Yep, Alpha is completely cracked over the B side, and now putting a squeeze, a pincer play over towards A. All that aggression of G2 was just dissipated. They're the ones left scrambling. Showstopper down. Just tagging into the clone. Jogma will get it. Crashies is there. Cleans it up. 3 players left to stand here. Boasted with the plan. It's going to be sticking this safety in the back of his mind because Crashies is watching it all leaf. Slipped his way in. Found that timing and that gap. This is it, surely. Fnatic on the cusp, on the brink of taking map 1. G2's map pick. It's all on to leaf. 6 bullets left. Timing not there. It's a 13-10 to finish here for our opener between these 2 juggernauts.
And it's a deadly duo for Fnatic to finish things off. Alpha and Chronicle, the last left alive to pull Fnatic over the line. A brilliant opening map from both of those players. But it took everything, double pistols and some big moments against the clock to be able to push Fnatic over the line. But that's on G2's map pick of Lotus.
Now we look forward to the split. Fnatic's choice of territory. Already with a map under their belt, they can feel it. There's momentum behind this team. A chance to really carve out your spot in history. We're going to be stepping away. Up next, GB and the analyst desk. We'll be breaking it all down.
Right, who are we hitting up first with a super pie? Jogamo with a super pie is coming in 100% from Bray. Super pie. Right, who is Trent? Where is he? There he is. Right. I'm cranking it. Super pie! Valen. Oh, I feel like I need to IGL diff super pie. I'm hitting him with the foot. Super pie!
आरामी है वे पोस्टर एक सेकंड रुको थोड़ा गेम ओपन कर दूं
Then watch me do it again. Red Bull gives you wings.
Hey.
Let me show you how to. Don't play with your karma.
that match I think उसमें start हो ही जाएगा match तब तक मेरा माउस खराब हो रहा है
Match found. Death match. Warm up.
क्राउच बटन तो गया ज़्यादा क्राउच करने से तो एम थोड़ी हिलेगा भाई, ऐसे ही मिलता है।
Zucker better watch their backs.
Fight!
Try not to die.
ओए सिंगल टैप हिल ले वो सड़ी के ना, दुनिया भर का हिल लिया। क्राउच नहीं कर पा रहा हूँ।
Headshot.
कोई नहीं, वैसे तो पहला गेम में वार्म अप, मैंने एम प्रैक्टिस भी नहीं करा कुछ। बड़ी कितना क्राउच करते हैं ना, तो मेरा बटन काम नहीं कर रहा तो क्राउच करोगे क्या? नया माउस आने दो भाई। ये तो क्या ही सिंगल टैप दे रहा है यार।
Dead. Killed them.
क्योंकि मेरा माउस काम नहीं कर रहा है इसलिए मुझे पड़ रहे हैं। देखा, यहाँ मेरा माउस काम नहीं कर रहा। थोड़ा हाथ गर्म होने दो। ऐसा मारूंगा। थोड़ा सा हाथ गर्म होने दो।
Bad luck.
हर बार क्राउच नहीं होता है भाई, कुछ नया सीखो। फिर भी उतनी दूर से भी क्राउच होके मार रहा है। ये
Idiot. 3.
अरे चैम्बर कहाँ गया? ठंडी के वीडियो कैंप भी करना।
Here.
एक बार मिला भी नहीं मुझे यार। शरीफ का जवाब शरीफ से ही दूंगा ना। मैं डर जाता हूँ यार। एक ब्रेक किया। चैम्बर दिख नहीं रहा यार। बाप रे, कौन है रे? D1
You're done.
10 kills remaining.
कौन है 10 kill? Crouch player?
Anyone else?
ये होना चाहिए था। ये देखो, एक जगह लड़ने दे भाई। यार स्टार्ट हो गया होगा ना गेम।
Very well. Be the end of G2.
Die. 3.
हाँ हो भाई।
5 kills remaining.
इसको भी गाली तो जरूर दूंगा।
Back off.
One kill remaining.
मैंने तो सिर्फ क्राउच के चौथे लिखा भाई। ये यहाँ भी साला बैठ के मारेगा ये।
Bad luck.
कौन होता है? कहाँ है मेरा आखिरी किल?
Fine for now.
छोड़ो उसको जल्दी, मैच होने वाला है चालू।
Can only imagine for the players who are up there, but when you're constantly reminded of the opposing team's confidence, it just makes it really hard.
And bringing that energy for him, he's so comfortable in these positions, had to come back when they've won trophies in the past, missed out on even going to Bangkok. Now an opportunity to make it top 3 here in Toronto as that final EMEA team. Everyone else from that region out in the group stage went home early in this tournament. But Fnatic staying in it despite the roster changes, despite bringing a rookie player into this tournament.
Do want to inform everyone, a little bit of a technical hiccup on the stage. We're going to get that sorted in just a little bit. So you'll stick with us for the time being, a little podcast. You know, you can't complain about that. Wait a minute, just got told I'm a liar. We're going into the game, everybody. Let's dive into the action. Toronto, make some noise for Brent and Sideshow.
We're going to need to see G2 dig deep, show that resilience that allowed them to come back versus Gen G. They're going to stand a chance against this Fnatic squad because both of these teams are aiming for greatness at this event. Both of them are looking to go that much further.
Jonah P, though, quoted as saying very recently, it's going to be a complete failure if we lose now, a disappointment. We're already thinking about the finals, and I think that just less pressure and more their own team's expectations. They want redemption for Bangkok. But Fnatic stands in the way.
It's apparent. Okay, fault line. Alpha has found a pocket to play in. Even on this angle. Nothing crazy though from Fnatic.
They're expecting the reclear.
And expected they will at least be rewarded. Alpha is lying in wait. Jumps on the chance. Now TP going to be laid in towards the back of that site.
Fake teleport.
I mean, it's a perfect read there. Really good control. They know exactly what G2 are going to go for. And now they've got themselves a 5v4. And Fnatic are never going to over-rush in these kind of situations. They can sit back and play the player advantage. Even allow Chronicle maybe to work a little bit of pressure over towards A and try to pull people off this hard anchor position.
Fnatic just trying to keep G2 guessing. Jonah P holding down that fault line. It's going to be have to contact a Leaf who's holding from the high ground.
Full Phage utility and being dumped right now over towards A to try to pull people. There's only 2 now ready to defend B.
There it is. It's going to be sailing up and over towards it. Exchanged even, leaving out of satchels in hand. Alpha.
That's a great shot.
Straight into the fray. Leap is there to answer back with a flash is even better. Jonah P is going to do a lot from this spot. And Trent does supplement. There's still a player disadvantage for them. Time running short. You get yourself in through the back of this.
The Heaven Lurk.
Heaven Lurk is what they're waiting for. That's on the timing. Crashies just laying around towards the side. He's already dropped down, but he wasn't expecting it. Trent, he has to live. If he stays alive, he's won the round.
Oh my.
Absolutely ridiculous.
That's an unbelievable way of the pistol round to finish. Trent is completely surrounded. Got his opponent Fade lurking through Heaven. Should have been an absolute wrap, but they lost track of where he was. They knew that he'd been over towards Spawn, but I think Crashies was searching for him, didn't realize. He was just tucked right behind that box. Try. He didn't even need the final kill, but he gave us it anyway. Nice! That's pretty absurd, because I think Fnatic should have been able to wrap that one up and win 3 out of 3 pistols so far, but G2 rewrite the narrative.
पूरा round convert करके
भाई. A lot of this util is going to be the Prowler. Kayak taking that space. Stray shots fired down. That Bulldog, not exactly the weapon of choice here, but with the horns followed up. Leaf is here. Fill in the gap to the defense.
Oh, and the C's into the snakebite combo to give Leaf a 3rd. Leaf now actually going to be approaching a Viper's Pit. He's able to clean up the rest of these players.
Looking for the last few. Spots it out. Chronicles drop 2 of them.
चलो एस
like accessible to a degree, but Valen is quick to recover.
एस रह गया भाई का.
And so Leaf, a really big anti-eco round for him, gets very close to the Viper's Pit. Not going to have it online for this bonus, but could be a difference maker early on in a crucial rifle round, especially if G2 can do a little bit of damage in this next to the Fnatic economy. A rare quick round as well. Fnatic taking a lot of round control very early on. But you're expecting, again, quite a lot of these rounds, even with the double duelist, to be slow paced from Fnatic on their attack side. I know Kaplan on the desk was talking about the fact that G2 got some experience playing against double duelist compositions, but Paper X and Fnatic are pretty much as far apart as you can play the same comp.
And the bait setup. Alpha just trying to swing off of that, catching onto the jump peak.
He did get an aim punch as well. That was a Phantom 140 headshot. But I'm really interested in this battle over towards B main. You see it here from Kayak and Jorg, just kind of feeling each other out. On the pistol round, Jorg got baited into walk re-clearing B main. But B main control is super important in the current meta.
Smokes propped up, recalled. We're going to be left guessing. There's haunts and action occurring onto every extremity right now. Pushing Chronicle out of the path. Jorgamo looking to potentially take a fight here. Knife out for Kaya. Oh my, that's unfortunate timing.
I mean, that's a weird decision as well, isn't it? Leaf versus Chronicle. And Chronicle gets the better end of it after Valen had already retreated. And now Valen's alone and isolated on the A side with the Paranoia as his best friend.
That's to anchor single-handedly. Reinforcements arriving in the form of Trent, but he doesn't really have a weapon to his name. It's the classic and a bit of Utah. They can hear it now. Smokes are going to start to be laid down, blossoming. Haunt reveals. And not even the exit for Valen. Just trying to TP out of it, but just opened his body up wide for it. So Fnatic, methodical approach towards it. Trying to hold back the onslaught now that G2 are trying to dish out. No one is ready for Alpha.
Yeah, that's a nice cleanup from Fnatic. Really good positioning too. Even if Alpha hadn't been able to close out with 3 kills, Boasters waiting in vents as a backstab. They've set up that round really nicely here. Fnatic are so good at their attack side macro. I know we're watching a little bit of a mistake here from Kayak, but he has some B main information. Chronicle controls the other side of the map. And in the meantime, the rest of the pack is working their way up mid, getting a heaven control, and just slowly pushing back G2. G2 at some point in these slow rounds are going to have to fight to re-clear. And that always comes with a bit of danger.
Straight back into it.
Once more, same 1-3-1 setup from the attackers, right? Kayak holding on.
Heavy premium, just spotting the cross-up. Jorgamo will have to respect that.
And that's great information from Kayak. He saw that teleport. He knows that Jorgamo's gone back into a more passive position.
Trying to square up towards it. What a shot!
Jorg has just decided to take the fight to Kayak. Might be a bit of an experience diff happening here.
Head clean off the shoulder. Kayak's got to be watching from the spectator seat, but Chronicle's been good for it so far. Pressure up towards B Heaven though. Alpha is ahead of it, finds the gap. Time to be taken. Sees though, avoided.
It is a nice seize though, because he gets Jonah P back onto the line.
So much pressure happening. Oh no, no, no.
Spike down mid.
It's not ideal.
He's just gifted them the spike.
The spike dropped down.
I mean, that I don't think was even. I think that was just supposed to be fake pressure anyway. Kron might have done enough.
Needs to be the savior for him. Leaf, judge in hand. Lets it loose and lets it rip. So putting a bit of fear into them, putting the squeeze now into Leaf, and a bit of spam chopping him down. Leaf
20 seconds.
At the knees, 20 seconds, scrambling, dashing.
Spike down mid.
And is leaving it just down to crash. He's a
slow
spike.
Essentially
unretrievable. 3-1 for G2.
15 सेकंड बचेंगे तो घुसते
from
हैं.
Fnatic, from Boaster. Like I said, I'm not sure if they thought the vent was completely clear and they were just trying to make a drop noise to fake a pivot into A and go back to B, or whether Boaster really wanted to try to take vent and just didn't have a teammate with him. But either way, you can't make a mistake like that when you're already a slow-paced team. And clearly the Fnatic coaches are not happy about it either, because we're about to go into a tactical timeout. And so, coming off the back of this, I mean, there was a great tac timeout on Lotus. The Des talked about it as well. That adjustment in the second half. The coaches took the timeout. Boaster adjusted some things and Fnatic were able to close out on map 1. Here, this is very early on. It's probably more to do with adjusting the tempo, or maybe one of the coaches has got a read on what G2 specifically are doing on the defense side. But I think there's a couple of things to just calm down here for Fnatic. Kayak's kind of getting diffed and making a couple of mistakes in terms of anticipating the aggression of Jorgamo. Jorg's just caught him on a couple of timings. And obviously we've just witnessed that fumble from Boaster dropping the spike in vent, so not sure whether it's nerves. It looked like the confidence was high for Fnatic, to be honest, on map 1. But they've now given Leaf an opportunity to get this Viper's Pit online in what could be a crucial round, though it is going to be a half buy here. Fnatic have still got some big weapons.
Opting into it almost fully. Oh, second guessing themselves. Money's a bit all over the place here from Fnatic.
Viper
TP in a fault line, sets up Valen. Horns timing.
Yeah, they've decided to use the pit in mid. Boaster's just spamming into it, but with how much Fnatic were doing 1-3-1 defaulting, okay, Alpha's just going to rip Trent apart. And these three players were looking to try to put pressure over towards A early on. They know that Valen teleported, so that's what Alpha's also worried about. They think that Boaster, they think that Valen might be inside that smoke. He's miles away, he's all the way towards screens, but he is slowing Fnatic down and forcing them to use util.
Now getting a bit of a move on towards A ramp. Chronicle and Alpha, the two players with rifles in hand.
But Valen is just so isolated here, isn't he?
Yeah, he's cut up on island from this point. Doesn't know if he's lost A heaven control. Doesn't really know where to lay it down the smoke either. Potentially trying to catch the cross. Fnatic are willing to play this one slowly. 45 seconds, that's a TP. Straight down to default. Taking a fight. Valen chopped down. Showstopper even expended. That's out the back pocket of Alpha. This is going to be quick scurry away. G2 do not want any part of this.
30 seconds
left. Yeah, they don't want to get caught by some kind of splash rocket that gets fired into heaven. Their A-ramp fight is going to be crucial here. Chronicle's just been amazing today.
He's going to try and do it all. But Judge Chronicle!
He's perfect.
Hitting shots like that! Boaster just supplements beautifully. Recall of the smoke, Jorgamo. Really going to commit into this. The money is low.
I think G2 lost every part of this round. And lost Trent to that duel over towards A ramp. Didn't really adjust. Valen thought that he could hold A, at least for retake, on his own. And Fnatic got into perfect positions. And then they just lost every important fight to Chronicle 2.
Gone here.
The combo, once more, that 1-2 punch of Alpha and Chronicle. It's been immaculate today.
They haven't stopped.
And Alpha's going to open up a lot of these rounds. Kayak too. I mean, Kayak is certainly one of those players. He was lighting up the scoreboards, topping the rankings in EMEA for stage 1. But if you're looking for experience at global events, you can't go wrong with the duo of Alpha and Chronicle.
Tyrann's just walking like a bot.
That's what they are.
They're keeping that energy all the way up.
Yeah, the disrespect.
Confidence with it. Hard commit by Kayak, just jumps straight past, and this duel has taken place.
Yeah, Jorg's had the better end of it most of the time. But at some point, with how aggressive and timing-based Jorg has been playing, he could easily get punished. They're expecting Fnatic to be trying to take some A ramp control and holding the stun for it. A stun, potentially a paranoia and a reclear of ramp. But nobody scaled off the back of the Prowler for Fnatic. Playing it slow, cautiously.
Valen takes a peek here. You could be in a world of hurt.
That's just
timings. Contacting, walking up onto the line. Valen wants a little bit more. It's good with a trade though. Crashes. Shuts that down.
Maybe an overpeak from Valen there. I think it's difficult to take 1 kill and make it into 2 against Fnatic when they're so disciplined. But still a player advantage.
3v4, wait, just in
the barrel! Clumsy movement, arguably, from Boaster there, just as they were calling out G2 for walking around like bots. And G2 in a 4v2. These rounds, you know, Fnatic don't get something started early in terms of map control or picks. You get some of these dull endings to the rounds, but G2 will be very happy to have the momentum paused for a moment.
There'll be another round added up to their tally. 4th one for G2.
And often when I do watch Fnatic play on Split,
10 seconds left.
I'm hit by how nice the game plan is. I think often with how precise Boaster can be and how good the coaching staff is on this team, they often come out with some kind of immaculate read. I'm not seeing that just yet today. Leaf caught towards the end, but it's not going to do too much damage to G2's economy. It does put a bit of pressure down, but there's players that can drop. These kind of unfortunate situations, though, are just a killer for Fnatic. When you're playing slowly and you're trying to be disciplined and you just kind of get spammed through a smoke, it can throw a wrench in the works massively. Like I said, though, I'm still kind of waiting for that glimmer of brilliance that you often see from Boaster's calling on the attack side. And I think a lot of it comes down to the fact that G2 have been able to keep control of B main, and that's where the fight's going to happen again early on. Jorg getting posted.
Very early fault line. And Jorg trying to take this one with a little bit more aggression. Off-angle play. Try and clear him out. Aftershock. To the corner. Kayak, his gate crash was set towards main. He's got no exit anymore. But Slusto towards the back of the side. Gives him access towards it. G2 himself is going to be backing out.
They chose not to try to combine that with the Fade ultimate. You know, you still got that in your back pocket over towards the retake.
Trying to take the fight forwards into their spawns. A flash and a play into it. Clone just eating a bunch of that damage. Jorgamo answers, drops down Kayak. Pit now into your face, and this dimensional drift needs to get value. Nightfall in through, into the back, spam and a shorty! Jorgamo, he's got access now towards it, and Chronicle down, that means the Pit alongside with it. Jorgamo, there's no stopping him right now. Boaster, gonna do it all from an uncomfortable spot indeed. To buy time for Alpha, to buy time for this guy to shine. 7 bullets left, Trent repositions.
6 bullets.
Leaves it into the 1v1 and time is ticking away from Trent. It's a bad plan, he's sticking this. Alpha, have on it, Alpha wide. He's gonna swing, he's gonna swing now, Alpha!
Oh. He gets it! What an angle to be found from Alpha here. I thought he beefed it for sure there. Knew that Trent was only gonna get half in that spot. And still have an angle to be able to swing out wide in B main. It looked like a horrid plant. And a really good combo. But considering the pressure that Jorgamo put down, getting 3 in the round, everybody else couldn't quite get it done. Look how tight that one is. Fnatic with a weapon advantage heading into round 8. And a few really good tools to be able to work with too. Cosmic Divide, Crashies with an ultimate as well. Plenty of tools to be able to get in and run some kind of set play with the ultimates. I was also talking on Lotus about the fact that G2 win almost 40% of their retakes. Fnatic are also our best team in post plants. Like one of those stats has to give up today. And at the moment, it looks like Fnatic kind of coming away with the advantage.
Yeah. Attempt by Fnatic here.
Very fast entry by.
To the back, Satchel's in play. Kayak has that backside control. Jorgamo forced to give it up. They claim to the side. Fnatic not content with it though. Looking like they almost wanted to step past. Through the spawn, just the deep seas.
And once more, the best post-plant team is playing against the best retake team.
Let's see what comes out on top. Fight forwards, out towards Pillar. The guns, the weaponry, not ideal for G2. Starting to at least drop down into the sides, and the feed is filled up. One shade of teal. Alpha standing alone. Chronicle is going to pick up these pieces with a double face like that. G2.
Save round,
the hold completely.
With a Spectre, Bren, as well. From that range. I mean, G2 are masters of being able to get the best out of the light weaponry. But kind of incredible that they make that retake work and not the one before. That has flipped the eco situation on its head entirely. Flash out! A round where it looked like Fnatic should have been able to come out on top. And equalize the game at 4-4. Suddenly, G2 are running away with things.
What is this luck, bro?
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. How is he hitting that with a Spectre from that range? Now Fnatic themselves have got to try to make something happen with a really bad vibe.
And the money has taken a tumble. Flipped 180.
And they're going to try to use this orb in mid. It's a really nice orb lineup from Chronicle, and it allows them to close the gap with lighter weaponry. So Kayak and Crashies.
Leaf. Under pressure, just spots the shoulder, gives up most of the space. G2, heavy emphasis being placed over towards A. No one B heaven.
These players could get pinched if G2 don't keep a ramp control. So that's why you see Trent maybe even overextending slightly to fight for this.
Out in the open.
I mean, throughout this all, Kayak inserted in vents with the Vandal. They're hoping that Leaf goes for re-exploration here, you know, with something, a stun, a paranoia, and Kayak can just grab one.
Ram take here from Fnatic, and this does put the squeeze now onto Leaf. Trying to lay in wait, and they're already putting a drop on him! Bucky in hand! And Alpha obtains the upgrade.
That's beautiful.
Slowly but surely, Fnatic are dissecting this site. Taking the map control away, it's going to be ult expended just to try and get themselves back in, but it's wasted! Caesar's perfect, Trent just trying to stay tucked in, but the horn reveals all. There will be no escape, not this time. Not from what Fnatic are putting on show.
They cross every T and dot every I. When things work for Fnatic in this slow-paced style, it looks so perfect.
And it's desperation by G2, just wandering into that sightline. A thrifty win from Fnatic. Back and forth we go.
The economy apparently means nothing between these two teams. G2 cast down into the depths again as Fnatic keep it. But, I mean, look, they knew that Leaf was just pinned in that corner the entire time. There had not been a re-clear. Kayak's just controlling that space, keeping him corralled. And once they had that pick, pushing into the site, the perfect seize onto Valen, the perfect haunt onto Trent. I mean, it's all gorgeous. Every piece of util with purpose. And G2 take a tactical timeout for the last 3 rounds and a half. We had a dead even 6-6 on Lotus to open things up. And that, I think, is the absolute peak of both teams' map pool. But Split, it's more of an uphill battle, I would argue, for G2. Like, Fnatic sealing up map 1 should set Fnatic up pretty here to be able to move on and face Wolves. I think G2 have got to really dig deep. At the moment, they're in the lead, but their eco's shot And this could easily be anyone's half.
Yeah.
And once more, by the way, Brent, it's that duo of Alpha and Chronicle. 13 kills for Alpha, 11 kills for Chronicle. I mean, nowhere near double digits for anybody else. They are putting on an insane performance, this deadly duo for Fnatic. And this is why they win trophies.
दोनों मैच में यही चले हैं
Pure domination. As you said,
और कोई चल ही नहीं रहा है
pressure is on
Fnatic
G2,
में.
I think. Try and slow them down despite being around ahead. Money's not good here for G2. Scrap together a bit of a buy, TP disengage, just to try and get some information. That's Jorgamo. Seeing if they're posted.
Alpha is so happy taking this duel. I mean, he knows he's on fire. And while Chronicle's the anchor, the rock, Alpha's the tip of the spear. He's the guy that can open things up, make the magic happen. And I think he's playing more confidently than Kayak is right now too, so he is actually taking more of those opening fights.
A lot asked of him, but always ready to deliver.
Leaf again has gotten stuck a little bit in vent here. Jorg gets destroyed on site.
Yeah, just trying to anchor over towards A. Slide off angle, I think, trying to catch a cross. Gap, a small window that Leaf wants to try and play himself in and towards. The Sheriff does sing into his hands. Will be forced to try and back himself out and away. There are anchor players, though. Onto the site, Trent doesn't have a lot to work with here, and he needs some help, and he needs it now after shot. Trying to land it close to the corner alongside the C's. This is Fnatic that are getting stunted.
30 seconds.
Well, lines
30
out.
seconds left.
The spike heading up towards ramp. Surely not a pivot to B.
Back into Leaf. No shotgun into his hands, just a Sheriff, but
the time.
So much danger, 20 seconds left. Reggie want to end it at this point, Fnatic. Anchor smokes are laid down. G2 trying to play that time. Kayak cracks it open and cracks heads while he's at it. Moving forward, Trent has not been dislodged, not been dislodged at all. The time, he's denied the plant. And the time is the worst enemy of this Fnatic squad.
Trent has done it again.
He stays alive in the final moments.
Almost exactly the same as what we saw from Trent on the pistol. He's the anchor, he's in a crazy position, and yet he is the last one left alive. The clock has been a nightmare for the Fnatic on their attack side. And this time it just happens again. The reason they're planning for Heaven in this spot, by the way, is so that this side player, Trent, can't deny. And yet, whilst trying to get the plant down, they get picked off from Heaven. Gaps everywhere.
Look at that timeline. Back and forth, back and forth. It's a pendulum swinging.
And always the Thrifties.
Over these teams. So deadly, so dangerous. Jorgamo, operator in his hands. He's been revealed. Get crashed to safety. It's Alpha here like a rocket in through the site, trying to roll out the red carpet for the rest of his team. I want to go one step further. Instant plant down for Fnatic. This is pacey.
Yeah, much faster round from them.
Completely overwhelming here, but at a 9-4, Alpha just trying to evacuate, trying to back himself out. Crashes is immaculate across their placement yet. G2 not to be outdone, already in through onto the site. Crossfire setup is set up indeed. Alpha trying to back away, trying to play the timing well to pull.
Chronicle in Heaven as well.
Leaf, he's already taken out Alpha. Chronicle the Heaven player. Late flank round. He's been taken out, and now Boaster. Last one left to do it all. The pull was used earlier. Nothing else to delay. It comes down to random spams. He comes down to the clutch. And Boaster might have just done it all. No way!
Insane!
That's ridiculous!
It's Trent again! Boaster did everything he possibly could. He played it the best anyone could in that situation. And yet, flashbacks, deja vu to Forsaken spinning in circles earlier on to cast Sentinels out. He's just wiggling around and doesn't have the ammunition.
That's a heartbreaker now. G2 leading by 3 rounds. Final round here for the first half of Split. Fnatic would love to make it a 7-5.
I mean, there have been so many moments where Fnatic arguably should have won. We're thinking Pistol, Trent Thrifty on the site, maybe even Boaster winning the clutch there. but they're all should-haves, could-haves. G2, with that grit, are managing to find their way into the lead. Kayak's been really absent from this attack half. He's once more over towards B, 5 and 9. It'd be a great thing for Fnatic to get him activated, especially before he has to be one of their big players on defense with the op, etc.
Shift up here from the defensive setup of G2. Valen is the one anchoring, and he's going to be feeling that heat. It's turned up, under scrutiny. Paranoia. Still prime, still ready. Jonah P will have to let loose some util of his own, and then looking for that refight up towards heaven. It's an important one. Valen has to reposition. Losing control out towards it. Jonah P with a flash, and backing himself out. TP to try and escape. The dimensional drift is going to be pointing all of this out. Kayak is getting the info for his team. Both are trying to take that peek and that fight towards it. That's wild. It's disjointed. Valen's doing this one with just a Spectre in hand, but not for much longer. Time. Still playing against them. Tapping away. Jogmo's now there. Ult of his own. He's straight into the fight.
Spike planted.
The peak from Trent dropped down to just 50 health. This damage done to a variety of them. And Crashies will deliver the round to them.
Stands tall and finishes the half strong. That was a difficult one. Crashy's wiping sweat off his brow. There were so many moments where it felt like Fnatic should have been able to close. Even in this round, they're slow, they're methodical, but they should have had the advantages. They put the squeeze onto those sight anchors, and G2 was still able to get 7.
Still anyone's game, of course. Just a 2-round difference that can change. Just one simple pistol round. Before all that, we're going to send it down to Vansili, who's waiting and standing by with a special guest.
Thank you once again, Bren, and this time I'm joined on the floor by Team Liquid's latest content creator, it's Shazam! Dude, I felt like I wasn't able to do that since like 2021 when I was casting your games. How you been?
I've been good. Yeah, it's been a long time.
Let's actually roll back the years, because 2021 was, you were the first to ever do it. Hoist a Masters Trophy in Reykjavik in 2021. So talk me through what it means for these players and for these teams to compete for this trophy right here in Toronto.
I mean, yeah, it means everything. It's like all you work towards, you know, like these guys scrim a lot, and it's the only goal. It's your life. Your life revolves around it. So.
And your life is now around content creation. The last team that you represented before joining Team Liquid was G2. So do you still have a little bit of ounce for cheering into G2 in this series against Fnatic?
Yeah, I mean, my time with G2, they were an incredible organization, and the guys on this team right now, I consider them good friends, and I'm like rooting for them to make it to the finals.
But Team Liquid right now is also fire as an organization, right?
Yeah, I mean, they're amazing. That goes without saying.
So another quick question here. So 2021 again with Reykjavik, you had a chance to IGL against Bolster as well on that stage. What's it like to play against Bolster, and how can he carry the team over to the victory?
Yeah, Bolster is someone I have a tremendous amount of respect for. He is a talented player. He works on his own game. He works on his team, and I think he's like a natural leader. Like you know, the antics on stage and stuff. It's like it's a good thing for a team. Like I'm sure Eve, they like laugh about it. It makes them happy. It makes people comfortable. It's like a really big thing. So
we definitely see them happy out there. And Shazam, I want to thank you so much for your time. It's always awesome to see you, brother. One more time for Shazam, everybody. And let's toss it back to the game.
Chaz was just mentioning, you know, the tenure, the history. Played against Boaster himself many a time.
Yeah, including Boaster's first Grand Finals appearance all the way back at the very first LAN event. It's incredible, the tenure, the amount of time that Boaster and Chronicle, for example, have been around. Take a look at the Coinbase Econ report here too. And I think one of the players to really take a look at is Kayak. Struggled a little bit on that attack side. We're going to expect him to be trying to invest into the operator as well. I would imagine that Fnatic are probably going to need a big performance out of him to recover, but they've been great in the pistol rounds, and that's where we're about to go back in. I think you could argue Fnatic should be 3-3 right now on pistols if they had somehow managed to allow Trent to pull off a miracle in round 1 here on Split.
Let's take a look now. All grouped up here from G2. 4 players ready to pounce. Flash. The fault line. Chronicle's going to be stunned up, and it's a bit late, but it's a bit disjointed from G2. Still gets the 1 from that freebie. Alpha from behind, but maybe about to be backstabbed in the blink of an eye. Dropping down silently. G2 are very aware of the fact. Surely hearing it, surely not. might be able to claim this kill. Alpha is out wide, and there it is from behind. Leaf, let's get it. Poster's there, instantly there with a trade-off, but a bit flustered in his approach. He can't take the clean fight.
They've done a lot of damage over here to Jorgamo, but the entirety of this site opened up. And Jonah P in a very safe position where he might be able to provide some information for them. He's at least going to be able to clear the flank and let them know that not too much is coming from that direction. Tough one for Kayak and Crashies. Both players not really had those opportunities to get online yet on this map. So this would be a huge one for them to convert for Fnatic.
Jonah P is going to be keeping his eye, at least a watchful, just takes a pot shot there, straight to the shoulder. Backs himself out, gets a bit of info for the team though. The fault line is good, Jorgamo takes the peak off of it. Crashies gone, Kayak, it's all on his shoulders. Heavy weight to burden to try and win this one with time ticking in the way that it is. G2 get their second pistol round.
So 2 pistol rounds for Fnatic on Lotus, and now 2 pistol rounds back the other direction for G2 here on Split. And this second one, pretty clean to be honest. Alpha was really trying to find that timing to be able to put pressure on the vent players and still avoid getting backstabbed. And he did a great job. I mean, hitting a 180 to be able to deal with, or at least put pressure and damage onto Leaf is great, but overall the positioning and the setup worked better for G2. And now Alpha's going to go for a Bucky. The rest of the team on Fnatic not really with too much to work around.
All eyes on mid. Alpha straight through into sewers, just in case there was one player lurking, holding.
Do they have the information about this? It does feel like G2 are accelerating slightly, speeding things up to try to react into B.
Smoke's propped up, horns in your face, and Leaf is looking for a timing. Just seeing it. So Crashies, good C's, wall up.
This is going to help Alpha.
Yeah, Alpha's all the way behind. There's no timing to be caught here, so that's a beautiful kill.
Thing is, doesn't actually give any weaponry away. Leaves the one player allowed to be aggro on his lurk to give information.
Bit of pace behind this one. Could be gaps for Fnatic to play in. Could be mistakes that they could absolutely capitalize on. Just the pistols in their hands, and they're making it work regardless. Jorgamo, just like that. Shoes on the other foot. He's the last one left to stand against this, and the damage has been done. Indeed, already the net tightening. B-main control as Fanatics. They have almost the whole of the site. Jorgamo in a spot like this will have to do a lot. No free kills going to be given up whatsoever, and off of Boaster. Here comes the swing.
That's
shot
a lot
through
of damage.
The wall. Crashies. One more to the chest will do him. But still the guessing game for Jorgamo. Does not know where this last player is.
And with time ticking down, surely it's not possible. A 1v4?
Surely not. Alpha, quite an upgrade in the midst of all of this one. Spectre in his hands. 10 seconds left. It's getting dire. Out towards the top. Just can't land a shot. Fnatic! It's rifted them right back.
We've seen so many of these rounds here on Split, where the team with lighter weaponry is able to put on a big performance. And it is another MasterCard Thrifty. I think a little bit of a scramble, a little bit rushed.
One enemy remains.
The G2 players, we talked about this previously in one of the other games, they said we were playing scared and fast. I think that was in the game against Paper X, actually, that they were talking about that.
What are you doing, bruv? What is going on? You're getting classic!
And Valin, I think he made the wrong judgment call there to accelerate towards the end. Fnatic already had the read that they were going to collapse into B. If he'd taken a slightly faster timing on the reaction, it might well have worked. But that is going to get Fnatic straight back into this game. And anytime you have a Thrifty like that, round 2, you're also allowing Fnatic to build up to these big ultimates.
Yeah, they're going to start farming. Orbs attempted to be picked up here, but just a random spam and spray. Fnatic got this one locked down.
It's Boaster who's 2 away from getting a Cosmic Divide. Could be big for a retake setup. Kayak potentially looking like he might be able to work towards his as well.
Toxin screen down.
Though to be honest, the ones you're scared of for the defenders to get online are Chronicles and Alphas. Not like they've had any trouble getting up to ults quickly though, because they've been fragging like demons in this game so far.
And they've been ridiculous. The backbone for the team, Trent.
Where are you?
30 seconds left.
Just going to decapitate Chronicle in the midst of all of this one, but with 25 seconds left, a hard ask ahead of G2.
An upgrade, though, to a rifle.
Slight perch off angle. It's a Paranoid. It's a decent connection. Kayak forced to be dropping off that one now, but with 14 seconds left, time is against them. It's kills that are being needed right now for G2, and Fnatic not in the mood to be offering them. Clone taking the bullets. Time getting against them once more. Kayak has going to be falling there, but Boaster in through behind. Easy with the cleanup. 8-7.
Fnatic should be able to grab upgrades, at least on one of the weapons. Little bit of economic damage done there, but shouldn't harm Fnatic too much. Ended up being an all-right eco round, but compared to the standards we've seen so far on Split, where people are winning with nothing. Our attention then onto the next, and Kayak has now gone for the operator. So here's an opportunity for the player filling Durka's shoes in this Fnatic core.
Looking for the setup over towards B. He's found himself his place.
Early flash, and Kayak was still tucking knife out into this deep angle. He's found the timing, but would have to deal against a stun potentially. A prowler to try to push him off the line.
See what G2 have got.
He's got a great chance of landing the opening pick here, though.
Time being bled down. Gate crash. Expiring soon. Kayak. Locks it down. Yeah. Oh, wow. The timing on that one right as the gate clash does expire. Forced to back away. A lot of damage done to Kayak in the process. 16 health.
Face your fear!
Gets away alive, though. Still can play his life into this one with the Nightfall. It's going to be colliding. Pulls going to be used out early. Jorgamo already dipping his way in through the back of the site. And a wonderful peek at that. Fnatic trying to make a go of this one here. Kayak! With the operator in his hands, on through the high ground. Kills are collected and claimed across the board. It's 8-8.
Really solid defensive setup there. Love the timing on Boaster's peak. Kayak uses his clone. That gets popped. Boaster's in immediately behind to try to clear up Jorgamo. Here you see it on the replay again. Almost catches two as well. Huge amount of damage onto Valen, who was trying to teleport in. A great read as well from Fnatic in this round. They knew that this was going to be a B-pop. Of course, G2 had to give away quite a lot of what they were doing around the map just to deal with Kayak. So Kayak's up finding a lot of passive value there, and he's going to keep it into the next. Fnatic may well have turned the tides of this one. Felt like they were on the back end of Split, every miracle moment going against them. And yet now, they're in the driving seat. Looking to try to close things out 2-0.
Ridiculous between these two teams. G2 themselves not even comprehending that they could be knocked out. They think of themselves as the main character, but the same could be said for Fnatic. Both of these squads looking to make history.
Got the spike. I do like the positioning of G2 though. I think you could argue that Fnatic are playing things a little too passive on their anti-ecos. Giving G2 full mid control just allows them to slice up the defenders.
Double drop down, Alpha, he's up onto the ropes. And now to the head of Jorgamo, but he is cleaned up.
Look how isolated Crashies is now, because these defenders can't rotate through mid.
We'll do it all from this spot. We'll see what the call is from G2 though. Steady as they go.
And this is how you see these thrifty rounds crumble. Perfect pause as well to make Crashies wonder about whether or not they're actually hitting, whether he should call Boaster over as support.
Reveals his position, bit of spam. Drop down, he hears it. Footsteps colliding with the floor. This is G2 with open access now towards the site and looking for potentially a refight. It's a plan for Heaven and for main. Dimensional drift from Kayak. He's going to be getting a lot of information. A lot of ults expended, even that. It's a Cosmic Divide, and they're trying to take this fight forwards. G2 with a lesser weaponry, not to be denied that space. In through spawn already, Jonah P picking up that upgrade. And it's a complete collapse once more.
Way too much space given to G2. You have to fight them at least a little and not just to allow them to completely control the tempo. You saw there that G2, Valen calls that fight over towards the screens. And it's set up secondarily with the stun from Jonah P. So they're already fighting, getting information, and then commit the utility. And Kayak, he's got no hope of winning that 1v3. Another MasterCard Thrifty to prop up. And G2 up straight back into things.
Bit of a mid-take here. Fnatic trying to hold against this one, but a Dimensional Drift's going to be used nice and early. A TP, even into Spawn, but cancelled out. G2 throwing some fakes into the mix. Trying to spot out some of these players. Kayak inserted, but reveals it! Just missed timing onto it. Jogmo had to exit out through D4. Kayak puts it down. Alpha forced out now with the ult in his hands. It's a showstopper. And it's a scurry away from G2.
It's a good cancel call from G2, but really that execute is not what they were looking for. They were hoping that Fnatic were going to be looking in Spawn for Valen.
The jiggle crashes, gets the info he's looking for. Flash and a repeat.
So now you've just got to try to call a pretty standard round, but 4v5. Difficult for Valen.
Gap here, there's pressure happening over towards A Heaven. Spike landing up over towards that area. G2 are layering down a bit of util, trying to keep players here. The barrel poking out. Chronicle has Leaf in his sights.
But it's not informing any defensive rotates from B to
30
A.
seconds left.
Look how isolated these A and B players are. And Leaf, he gets away with it.
It's a bullet to the dome, but through the wall, as you said, he gets away with it. He survives. G2 doing up now, trying to set themselves up for a complete attempt and all the way through. This is Boaster back against the wall. A lot to do from this spot. Chronicle trying to dodge and juke and avoid most of it. The Aya is coming his way. G2 with that side control. Trent has to be that playmaker. What a swing and what a play. Chronicle single-handedly saving the day.
Round nikal diya usne bhai.
So nice from Chronicle. After he missed that kill up towards Heaven that he was eager for, salivating, he just rips a wide swing against Trent. This early play at the start of the round may be a result of the Yoru nerfs. You know, a couple of extra seconds there on an ultimate, and maybe Kayak's position is scouted out, but as you say, it's all Chronicle at the end of the day there. A G2 are now going to be forced to do it again with weaker weaponry. At some point, surely Fnatic start to get a comfortable lead. G2 cannot keep doing this with bad buys.
It's been miracle rounds after miracle rounds. G2, as you said, they can't keep getting away with it. They do have the stingers. Good adjustment there from the spray down. Chronicle doesn't reveal much. Fault line into the corner. That's a clone to be tanking some of the bullets. Alpha just trying to evacuate. A lot of bodies though trying to make their way in through, and Chronicle has been overwhelmed. Boaster reciprocates.
And this time Fnatic are actually trying to fight G2, but they are losing. A 3v3, and G2 have managed to gain mid control. It was contested,
I got the spike.
And at least it's given them information for somebody like Crashies to be able to wrap fully round on this flank.
Jonah does not have a gun to try to stop this. It's a classic in hand, and Crashies are going for it. It's a slight off angle, takes a ding to the head. They're trying to run him down. Trent. No denial of the kill. Upgrades across the board now. It's 2 from Fnatic, Kayak and Boaster to do it all.
I think this read is really nice as well. When Crashies gets caught here, pretty confident there's not going to be as many players over towards B.
30 seconds left.
All still being used though. In the back pocket, Kayak's ahead of it. He's found that timing, he's straight ahead of it. Kayak needs some kills to be claimed though. Catch the first! You're not expecting that. Jonah P was down from behind! How have they done it again?
It doesn't matter what Fnatic's game plan is. If they play passive to try to avoid the stingers, then G2 just take the site and play post-plan. If they try to contest them for space, they're losing the fights to the death ball, the brawl of G2.
Down B.
It is a nightmare right now, and you can see it writ all over the body language of these coaches.
No, we're winning every round, even though it's chaotic through mid. Just keep it up until they...
They're winning every round, but they're winning primarily when they don't have weapons.
Yeah, and the odds are stacked against them as G2
proved
that they have grit from that last series, the run back against Gen G. Fnatic are feeling it now.
Big investment of a Viper's Pit in a round where you have bad economy. Fnatic do not want G2 to be able to get comfortably up to 11. Frankly, the weaponry hasn't made a huge difference here on Split, so entirely winnable for Fnatic.
Portal closed.
But this death ball style has been the best thing for G2. Just having so many bodies there to be able to trade out individual stars like Alpha, who is positioned right now to try to catch people on the cross into A. So I think it's Crashy's job to try to draw attention, and Alpha, the dagger in the back.
Crashy's jiggling. Like you said, Looking to pounce onto this one here to season a nade. Only catching onto the clone. No casualties.
By going for that season 8 though, Alpha's given up his position. So he has to relocate up to heaven.
Paranoia swoops forward to gate crash in. Alpha is
30
on
seconds left.
the high ground. Guardian in hand.
And the time has not been a problem for G2 this series just yet.
25 seconds left, and you can hear it, the rumble of the footsteps, and there it is! Trying to make their way forwards. A bit of spam coming through, but still evens out G2. And spending everything. But can they remove Crashies finally? Yes. Time. 11 seconds left.
10 seconds left.
Utilizing the pit though against 2 players with light weaponry could be a disaster for Leaf.
Out forwards, trying to take that timing. Leaf. Seeing if they've crossed it, past it already. Boaster can get in close and personal. Bucky in hand. All the way through. That's a bullet to the back.
Shot by.
Pellets raining down and the pit falls because of it. Nothing to hide. Trent away. He's got to do it all from this spot here to jiggle the shots. It's immaculate from Boaster. The 2v1. Smoke up, full committal. And Chronicle sticking counter spam from Boaster. It's 10 to 10.
साला thrifty खेल रहे दोनों.
Of course it is. No team right now can win when they have rifles. And I think the big reason why is because the teams are willing to take more risks when they have bad weaponry. Fnatic is willing to gamble stack and go really fast just based on noise cues, willing to take timings and moments of aggression. G2's economy once more is going to be on the ropes. Why do I even bother talking about it though? It was another Mastercard Thrifty, so who cares? It's a scrap out here.
It has not mattered. The energy is just oscillating between these two teams, but Fnatic are the ones now in the driving seat once more. A map ahead. Looking for the round is going to make all the difference. G2 are forwards, the horn not broken, dropping down, no mistakes are being made. Alpha sends it flying forwards with the boombot in hand, wants to try and take it! It's a gun uploaded, Jonah. Happy to shut him down.
And even throws the weapon away to a teammate with slightly better health. Leaf, a monster, and another opportunity for another Thrifty. I mean, the player post-plan positions are even quite nice from Jorg and from Trent.
Tucked in, rooted to the spot. Through heaven, that's going to be a horn that has to be dealt with. Jorg was the one with a rifle. Fault line, Cosmic Divide even being committed. TP now into the back in the space.
Nice, TP.
Right there, they have no idea. They are none the wiser. Kayak, it's your time to shine, and shine he does!
Nice.
Absolutely ridiculous!
Bhai sahab, ultimate gameplay, bhai.
What a sick play from a player that was struggling a little bit in the first half. He has come online and more in the second.
100 IQ.
He's making his way firmly up and up the scoreboard. And with plays like that, I mean, it's a gorgeous play. Leaf's even watching for it, but it gets hit fully by the flash. An accidental kill even onto Jonah P. And Kayak's positive again after that one.
Nice! You can see how much it means to him.
Finally, stability. Because this match, it's been like a double pendulum. It's literally impossible. Chaotic forces all over the place. But G2, they're going to take a tactical timeout as both teams finally reset with equal economy. A wild situation, and one in which I think the mental of G2 again is really going to get tested here.
Yeah. You thought it was tested before. This is a completely different scenario. Fnatic have that edge, that lead, and they want to take it all the way home. They want to be the team that carves out that path, that lower bracket run that is so damn legendary, and deny G2 their own chance of redemption.
Yeah, both of these squads dropped into the lower bracket right at the beginning. Both #1 seeds from their regions, the last representatives of Americas and EMEA, and both with players that are searching for records to be broken. Jorg looking to be the second ever player to win a Masters and a Champs. People on Fnatic, I mean, Chronicle top of the scoreboard. If he's able to win this tournament, it'd be his 4th trophy, utterly ridiculous. And then on the other side of things, people looking for redemption like Crashies, playing against his region, trying to eliminate them, and 2 rounds away from doing so.
Jam-packed is the matchup. Alongside that history, Kayak They crash away, won't be punished. With the fault line expended there from G2. Chronicle. He's got to try and hold this one down. He's been good for it. To seize. Dodged alongside that aftershock. Have a flash into his face with the power on top of it. Jorgamo.
That's a monster entry.
Lights out.
Double reclear potentially into Leaf over towards A ramp, but Boaster, he's backed up to cover vents, so it's actually just Alpha isolated here, trying to force the fight into Leaf.
This fight's happening on both sides of things here with the boombot instantly broken. Deep push from Crashies. Hyperextended. Now Valen, he heard the flash, he saw it. He's got to feel like there could be the possibility of a deep push up, but risks to be taken when you're a player down. Crashies is getting so much information for them, and Kayak, it's a cherry on top.
Yeah, he's expending this ult just for information. It would have been amazing for the retake, honestly, to combine with Crashies, but Crashies pushed up.
No way, Valen expects it and he doesn't. It's dropped.
It's a wild off angle, that one.
30 seconds left. B main control still there for Fnatic. They have a beautiful hold on this one. Even a Nightfall going to be expended. Flash up into the faces here. G2, a weakened, decayed down. Lee finds it. Clears up that one question mark. Kayak answers again. 14 seconds. Layers them all down. Lines them all up and Leaf. Knife out. He's going to do it all now, but there's no chance in hell. Swarmed in his position. A tap to force it out. It's 12 rounds for Fnatic.
And we have been talking so much about the storied players in this. The IGL battle, Chronicle Alpha, yeah, the core, and yet it's Kayak in the final moments who is making the difference. Filling some gigantic shoes, was dominant in stage one. And has now put together 2 huge rounds. And he's really getting into this. Fnatic 1 round away from sending G2 home.
Bring them down.
1 round away from claiming that spot in the lower finals. Taking a quick peek. TP even committed there. Jorgamo did not want to be caught into that corner. Deep mid control. Kayak not pushed back.
Where are you?
Finally will concede that space, but this is Fnatic on a tear. Looking to go further.
Valen under a lot of pressure, calling for help.
Hyperactive as a seize and an aid. TP to disengage. Valen still has his life, but that timing is caught. It's a bullet to the side of the head from Leaf. And now he has to watch in dismay from the spectator seat. As your team's chances are dwindling. It's Fnatic entirely here. Kayak looking to drop, and Valen is gone. The captain removed. Death from 1,000 cuts here. Fnatic are happy to deliver it.
Teleport in onto the A side, but didn't have the spike. Every player from G2 trying to pull off a 3v5 from inside the site. Nobody with heaven control, nobody on the flank. Should be a slam dunk retake for Fnatic with players up.
Dink through the wall. Flash is still alive. Ults are here. All Infanta is G2. They realize it. They have to try and fight tooth and nail for every inch of space. But Kayak is already wrapping. The discipline is here from Fnatic. You need a miracle if you're G2. Fnatic are not in the business of giving them out. Already to swing in the face. Alfia claims the space and more. Jonah P. It's a last-ditch effort. But that's all it's looking to be. Beautiful from Fnatic. And they sent G2 packing.
It's been one hell of a lower bracket run so far from a legendary core. With new pieces stepping up towards the end as well. And a masterful performance from Alpha and Chronicle today. Boaster too, both in the calling and the fragging department, actually recovering really nicely after a slow start on Lotus. And these legends keep on rolling. EMEA overall with a bit of a rough tournament, but the last team to have hoisted a trophy for the region keeps on trucking. What a match that's gonna be as Fnatic move on to a lower bracket final to fight against Wolves. You couldn't get 2 teams on a different story, a different arc. But G2 today denied an opportunity for redemption from Bangkok. Their run ends here.
4th place exit with showmanship. It's always there with Fnatic.
Yeah, there's a huge amount of respect going back and forth across the stage, but Fnatic also, they live for these kind of moments. The success on stage, the play into the crowd.
They are certainly doing it. There's only one more stop between them and a grand finals appearance. And they look eager to take it, dishing it out.
They destroyed Cuba and a hand in the L's to G2. They've slain the best prospects from Americas. And now, the best Chinese team could be next.
They do not want to be denied a legendary lower bracket run that we are witnessing from this Fnatic squad.
And in the end,
near the beginning,
that tight, disciplined play eventually pushed them over the line. We saw some crazy stuff though in this game. The light weapon buys were difficult to put down, but I think overall, individual performances again just coming through from a star-studded roster.
Match found.
TDM खेल के सोते हैं यार. वैसे मेरा माउस काम नहीं कर रहा ढंग से.
Go, let's go.
Insane answer. Not the best game, but had some insane answer.
I don't think anyone's going to forget some of those insane rounds you spoke about. Now, like I said, you've never been to a global event before. What's it been like? How's the stage? Are you enjoying yourself?
I think the stage is amazing. I think the fans are the best part of this because like you can hear them through the headphones and stuff. So thank you guys because you are all amazing and we can hear you. And so far the tournament is amazing.
Yeah! It's new, right? This is a new feeling.
Yeah, of course, compared to the EMEA stage, this is definitely like bigger feeling and better feeling. So.
All right, well, I hope we see you continue to pop up. I'm going to return you to your fans. They seem very excited here. Come with me. First of all, Boaster, very cute sign. Very cute sign. Can you just turn around for 2 seconds? What do you think about that over there?
That might be the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life.
Well, come on, over. I think you need to sign this. You need to sign this. Yeah. Most people.
Let the bullets fly. Focusing.
One down.
Grenade.
Reload.
Die.
मार रहा है बे.
Get out of here. Loading. 3 seconds. Forget. You're not.
भाई.
Enemy down.
Pray for me.
New stage in 10. Got 3.
See ya.
Satchel out.
Stage 2.
Headshot. Get in sight.
Lock in sight.
Grenade.
यार तो एम 0 हो रखा है.
breaking them.
Fabulous.
200 piece का किस कैसे आ रहे हैं?
Precision kill.
Be faster.
Reloading.
Four kill भाई.
You're done.
I can't use that. I can't use that.
Finished.
New stage in 10. Stage 3.
My ult's not ready. Blocking sight.
Cutting their vision.
Final stage.
चल जा मेरा.
Get out of my way.
क्यों भाई?
Stay down. Nailed it. My ult's ready. Blocking sight.
पड़ेगा. ये मादरचोद ओडिन वाले कहीं सुधरेंगे.
Viper's got a chokehold on this game.
अरे मैं क्राउच भी नहीं कर पा रहा हूँ यार.
Watch this. Yikes.
15 kills remaining.
इतना क्या आ गया?
10 kills remaining.
You want to play? Let's play.
अरे बाप रे.
Match found. Deathmatch. Warm up.
Let's ruin their day.
Fight!
Together! Still got it. Gotcha.
एक क्राउच वाला गन में से नहीं चलेगा अभी। अबे क्राउच ही नहीं हो रहा यार।
Headshot.
Aim 0. भाई कैसे ये चलते चलते मार रहा है बे? कहाँ जाऊँ? साले खड़े भी नहीं होने दे रहे।
Right between the eyes.
Kills remaining.
गंदा कैसे एम हो सकता है? ये छुप गया बहुत सड़ा। पहले आने भी नहीं देते मेरे। साउंड देख के जा रहा हूँ ना, पहले से रेडी है अभी।
Five kills remaining.
Down and out. Now we're cooking. Gunner.
One kill remaining.
aim.
1 minute remaining.
Oh भाई यार कोई अच्छा सा माउस सजेस्ट कर दो। मेरा पूरे 2-3 बटन खराब हो गए हैं माउस के यार। 2 बटन तो खराब हो गए हैं, साइड्स बटन जो होते हैं।
मैच फाउंड।
क्राउच ही नहीं कर पा रहा हूँ मैं।
Go, let's go.
bullets fly. Charge your ults.
One down.
Seconds until stage change.
Farewell. Reloading.
Stage 2.
Senora.
पे आ रहा था क्या बैठेगा कर ले ब्लॉक कर ले भोसड़ी के मेरे को
New stage in 10.
Here. Lock the sight.
Stage 3.
Reloading.
Flash. Reloaded.
Blocking sight. Bye. Blocking sight.
My ultimate.
Your fault.
Perfection. Careful
I gotta wait.
New stage in 10.
Got him.
Come on, let's go. Final stage. Such is life.
Night night.
Got them.
The hunt begins.
कि मम्मी चौधरी है क्या यहाँ पे भाई
साहत किल किया भाई कितना बोलता है यार तू
Reload him.
Brother thinks he's the main character.
Enemy
You
kill.
want to play? Let's play.
Bro, please sit in a
Blocking sight.
give fucking excuses, block me and this shit like that.
अरे चेंबर भाई रहने दो भाई उसको इंग्लिश
हाँ उसकी बातों से पता चल रहा है कब से देख रहा हूँ भाई उसको
Oh my god, someone blocked me. Someone blocked me. जेट को की मार चुदा ले भाई सही बता। जेट को की मार चुदा। तेरे जैसे बंदे को ना मार चुदा। ये देख मर गया पोस्ट का।
तेरी मम्मी के ऊपर मर गया यार।
तेरे बातों का सेंस है भाई। तेरे बातों का कुछ सेंस है।
वो भी ऐसी बोलती है। वो भी ऐसी बोलती है भाई, वो भी ऐसी।
भाई किसी की माँ को मत बोलो भाई। भाई कोई भी किसी की माँ को गाली मत दो भाई। जेट तेरी माँ की चूत मादर चूत मत बोलो भाई।
पॉइंट है भाई, पॉइंट।
ये क्या था भाई? हाँ भाई ओए, आज से कोई किसी की माँ पे नहीं जाएगा, ठीक है? जेट तेरी माँ का
Reloaded.
I gotta wait. Blocking sight.
उन चारों का पापा देखो कहाँ बैठा है।
अबे बच्चा है तू, नर्सरी का बच्चा है क्या? ये बता पहले।
Enemy kill.
इसका बाप मेरा बेटा है।
तेरी माँ चोदता है वो रोज।
तेरी बहन की चूत मादर।
तेरी बहन की क्या है भाई?
हाँ।
ट्रांसप्लांट करा के तेरी बहन ने।
भाई और सीनियर नर्सरी वाले जोक्स मार देना भाई आज तू में।
दिया है भाई।
रंडी के पिल्लो मादर चोदो। मेरा लंड चूस हो तुम, मेरा लंड चूस। झाटू कहाँ मेरे घर
Match found.
Go. Let's go.
Let the killing begin.
Show me a target.
Neutralized.
मारा भी ना।
Reloading.
Try again. Breaking down.
Charge your ults.
Next.
Headshot. Here.
एक और कहाँ पे?
10 seconds until stage change.
Your fault. Yikes.
Stage 2.
You're finished.
Night night.
Reloading.
Stealing front.
Not enough.
Charge your bolts.
देखो
There.
काला नियॉन
Cutting their
Reloading until stage change.
Blocking sight.
Stage 3.
Hi! I'm pissed!
फिर जाता है यार
Get out of my way!
Try again.
अंधे में भी मार के
New stage in 10.
मेरा iPad का बैटरी खत्म हो गया है
You're dead.
Stay down!
Chambers under average.
cutting their
Blocking sight. 3. My ult.
Got 3.
मेरा क्राउच नहीं दब रहा है
You're finished.
Bye. 3. Blocking sight.
reloading.
Ultimate orb spawning.
Here. Ooh.
Fire.
Headshot.
Raze is on rampage.
Nowhere to run.
15 kills remaining.
सो ही रहा हूँ
10 kills remaining.
अरे ब्रो रीबन नहीं है यार मेरे पास, पुरोनामी है और वो है प्रीमोडियम, दो ही पड़ी है यार। मैं कलेक्शन दिखाता हूँ, सिर्फ ये दो है। एक ये है, ये मेरे को बहुत हैवी लगती है, बहुत ज़्यादा, मतलब उसका रिकॉइल बहुत ऊपर ही जाता है, कंट्रोल नहीं होती मुझसे। इसको बहुत ही सबसे कम मैं ये यूज़ करता हूँ।
My ultimate's ready.
क्या जॉब लूजर। साउंड भी बहुत बेकार लगता है मेरे को। हाँ हो सकता है यार, सही कह रहे हो आप।
Match found.
I am both shield and sword.
Go, go, go!
Let's begin.
Here.
Sorry, bro.
No, you don't.
I'm out of here.
Here.
Watch out!
I got ISO.
Ultimate orb spawned.
Go, go, go! Shortcut!
That's done.
Break.
Here.
New stage in 10.
Reloading.
Stage 2.
Shocking! Still in sight.
Gotta go.
You fought well.
Neutralized.
Barrier created.
I got ice.
Heads up.
Charge your ults.
Reloading.
Look sharp. Triple ready. My ultimate's ready. Come on, let's go. Get out of here. Phoenix is on fire. Rampage. 10 seconds until stage change.
Reloading.
Stage 3.
Go away.
That's done. You're nothing. Stopping fire.
Cutting their vision. Nice try.
Charge your ults.
Don't resist.
Triple baby.
Reloaded.
Wall raised. Headshot.
Reload him.
I'm out of here.
My ult's ready.
Opponents killed.
10 seconds until stage change.
Reloading.
Final stage.
Enemy down.
Stage isn't just a rampage.
Reloaded. Show me a target.
Eliminate.
Rampage.
Cutting their vision.
Shocking.
Reloading.
Careful now.
Here.
Coming through.
Reload him.
My ult's ready. I'm out of here.
Destabilizing. Making cover.
Kills remaining.
Reloading.
Ultimate spawning.
Get lost.
Neos on rampage. 10 kills remaining.
Focusing.